So we don't have a predetermined subject here. Have you got a request?
I actually do, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
We did. I'll take a request then.
Okay. I have some physicalness. Right around where that hernia was, there was some swelling in the colon, and there's been some puffed up stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. That's getting in the way.
You know, you're asking me a pretty stiff challenge for me to actually heal something on camera. You know, that's asking for a lot. Let's see. I mean, given the fact that I'm not a avowed healer, I'm not saying healing doesn't happen around me. I'm just saying that I'm not known for having a magic touch.
Yeah.
At least not yet.
No, you do, but not in that way, not that much.
Yeah. Okay, so some swelling around the colon. So what I'm doing right now is I just, since I don't know what to do, I don't know how to resolve this, I have to start from not knowing that.
Of course.
And so I'm not going to address it instantly because I have to put out the request and then receive the answer.
Completely understand.
Okay. Oh, by the way, just in case anybody wants to know who's here.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Claudio and Gene.
Hello. Canadian,
So I'm just going to close my eyes and kind of choose to be as present as I can and to let go of the need to actually have to do something. Except look. So first thing we'll do is we'll take a look. And what we're looking at is what you're complaining about. The feeling, the sense, the pain, the blockage, the barrier, whatever it is that you're experiencing there. If that's going to be healed or no longer demanding your attention, then we're going to have to know what it is. And the only way to do that is to confront it with our directed attention.
Okay.
And of course, you know, the first question we have to ask is, what is it? Why is it? Is there a purpose? Is there a communication? What's the good reason why it's there? How is that purpose fulfilled now? How is there a completion available in whatever set that into motion? A completion where it's resolved and so there's no reason for it to persist anymore. And so as we ask those questions, we're actually allowing that communication to go out through whatever matrix of networks that we're connected to and go to where the answer is known and obvious and easily communicated and easily resolved. And so wherever that is in the universe, whether it's a dimension or space or time or being or just a knowing or knowledge that's out there, whatever it is that knows the answer to that from the easiest possible way to resolve it, so that there's a harmonic of ease and grace and peace and a thrivingness about you. Now, it's not even necessary to get a verbal communication, because a verbal communication is knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, it's to create an understanding. And knowledge and understanding aren't necessary. What's necessary, seemingly, is to ask the question and receive the answer, and allow the answer to bring the resolution into existence. You receiving whatever it is you need to receive, whether it's thoughts, ideas, intentions, energy, whatever it is, you open up and you receive it.
Right.
Good, bad, right, wrong, doesn't matter.
Right.
Doesn't matter what the intention is, doesn't matter what the source is. What matters is that you open up and allow that to commune with you and communicate whatever it is, whatever's needed. And you say, I get it. I understand. I know what it's like to be here and not know and not understand, and to be in a state of confusion about, how do I get what I want? How do I get them to understand? So the how is in being, understanding yourself, being that which knows how to know. You know you don't know, but you know how to know. So we've asked the question, and the answer comes back with the energy, the intelligence, the awareness, the tools necessary to resolve everything in a way that is beautiful for each party involved. Whatever causes to manifest, whether it was an outside influence, an unconscious internal influence, or just an accident of life, whatever it is, we open to it with a intimate embrace. We embrace it with a willingness to experience it completely, infinitely. And in the willingness to experience that, it finds it has no enemy in you, has no opposition in you, has no enemy in you. And whatever intelligence is contained within it that considers itself separate from you, let it know that you're at peace with it, that you're in support of it, that you grant it the right to express itself freely. And you freely and willingly accept that expression. But in your complete willingness to experience it, you find that it delivers an understanding, an experiential understanding, and then it's dissolved. It moves on to something else because it's complete within you. So the solution is one and only, and that is your willingness to open, your willingness to receive, your willingness to understand that the answer is always you. You're the one who takes responsibility. You're the one that willingly receives exactly what it is. You're the one that gives it a possibility of completion, an actuality of completion. You give it exactly what it needs and wants, freely. And you do it so quickly that it can't hold on to any thoughts of destruction, disablement, any kind of bad intention for you. You give so freely and so easily to that which is impaling you that it can't hold on to that intention, that beingness, that desire to change you against your will or to punish you, whatever it is. You receive it so freely, so easily, so willingly that it's just a beautiful experience for it, whatever it is. And when you create a beautiful experience for that which is disabling you, when you embrace that pain and suffering with a love that is delighted to be there and experience and share that, be intimate with that, then you've created something special for another point of view, another being, another consciousness. You've created the doorway back into knowing its own authentic beingness, its own universal ability to hold a wholeness of truth within its experience of itself. So as you open, as you allow yourself to understand, as you notice that you now know what it is, how it is, where it is, why it is, and you love the fact that it is there with you. You love it until it chooses so well for itself that it ceases to be what it was, because it's transcended itself. It's opened into a quantum leap of expression for the better, for itself, because of its interaction with you. So let's do that now. Whatever it is that's bothering you, whatever it is that you feel within yourself, just close your eyes, relax, lean back in your chair, just relax. Take a deep breath. And don't wonder if you're doing it right or not. Just pay attention to what you feel in your body and choose to be there consciously. Choose to feel what you feel and then go deeper and feel more. And go deeper and deeper and deeper until there's nothing that you haven't confronted within yourself that you ever hid from before. How could there be any other way to be true to yourself other than to know yourself completely, intimately? Everything that you've ever been, everything that you've ever done, everything that you've ever known. Open and accept the reality that what you are is what you are. What you know is what you know. And what you transcend into, you don't know quite exactly yet what that is. But you know it's going to be a beautiful ride, no matter how painful it is. No matter what a torture it is that you go through. It's going to be a divine experience if you open all the way. It's going to be an experience of moving through solidity freely and easily. Your willingness to experience everything intimately means that reality moves quickly with you, harmonizes with you, opens and finds a way to experience itself in a beautiful new way. A way where it is able to celebrate someone else. A willingness to open and be more aware, more compassionate, more loving, more able to be a benefit to themselves first and foremost. Because if you're not benefiting yourself, you're incapable of truly benefiting another, because you'll do your best to drag everyone else to your level of consciousness when you're in suffering. And if you sacrifice yourself for others, where your life is a burden, then your ability to truly be a benefit to others will be severely limited. You have to be realized yourself before you can know how to operate cleanly and clearly and beneficially with others. Do you operate from a state of confusion and say that's a higher way of being because you're selfless to others? You couldn't be any more selfish because you're dealing destructively with other people and you don't even know it. You have to let others be others. It's difficult for me. But when I do, they transcend themselves. Because as soon as you stop resisting anything about the other person, as soon as they feel like there's a complete understanding between the two of you and a connection beyond what they imagined they could ever have, then they will choose so well for themselves their willingness to experience their own truth, to expand their own understanding and knowing and reality has the potential to infinitely expand into a universal knowing and being and understanding that they're able to carry within their experience of themselves. And not just carry it, know that it's them. And know that they are here and that they're free. So feel that burden that you're carrying in the pain of the swelling of your intestines, whatever that is, wherever it is, and whether it originates there or originates somewhere else. Just be open to exactly why it's here and what it is and what brought it into being. Be at peace with all that. Be willing to understand and experience it to the point where you know so much about it that you know how to bring it to a conclusion where it's a celebration of life, where it's a realization
it's 11 o'clock.
Of understanding, where you know what time it is and where you are. So let's pay attention to Jane's question and allow for us to be in support of its resolution, okay? So just feel yourself opening your heart, your mind, your soul, whatever it is. You open all the way and support his intention to be free of what he asked to be free of. Yeah, we're okay with that being realized in him now. Really okay with it. Feel that. Feel yourself in complete allowance to a healing occurring for Jean. You're not making it happen, but you're watching it happen. And you realize that the more that you open into a willingness to experience a miraculous healing in another, the more it actually happens. Because it's like a virus, it's contagious. When one person opens, the other person goes, "Oh my God, I remember now myself. Thank you." And they open too. And so, open as you observe the healing in another. Just let it happen. Well, however far you have to open your own awareness and your own consciousness, you just keep opening as long as you feel solidity until everything is flowing gracefully. If there's the solidity in you that's a reference point for the complaint in the other person who desires to be healed, then you, when you feel that, oh, I haven't opened my awareness, my understanding, my willingness to know all points of view universally. You go, oh, the solidity means that I've collapsed my awareness. And so you expand out again until nothing could be solid in you anymore. And at the point that the solidity disappears, then a flow occurs and a transformation begins. And a radiance can be noticed if you look within your own heart. And as you open to your own willingness to experience your own radiance, then it, like a fire, will consume everything that's not in harmony with your full realization. You just let it happen. You just watch. You can just lean back and say, yes, of course. Of course. Why would I restrict myself in any way? Why would I limit my own understanding? Why would I frustrate myself? The only reason would be because I've so determined never to change. And that as I notice my behaviors harm others, then I have to restrict myself. Because none of us truly, at our core, ever wants to harm another, no matter how destructive we are. The core of you wishes for the very best for everyone. And for yourself. And you know that there's no prerequisite to that realization other than your willingness to be free and to grant freedom. That same freedom that you wish for yourself to others. And as you grant freedom to each other, each of you opens more and more and more. Your understanding deepens, your realization progresses, and your transformation is a wonderful experience, no matter how horrible it is. For me, it's generally not a fun thing, but
it can be gentle.
yeah. But guess what? No matter how unfun it is, if I concentrate my awareness and focus on the experience of what that is, then it can't maintain itself anymore. Once it knows it's been seen, once it knows it's been understood, once it knows that there's a complete duplication in you, there's no reason for it to waste its time around you anymore. It's done here. So allow yourself to know, allow yourself to see, allow yourself to understand, and look at it until you do. Listen, feel, understand. Until you are understanding. Until you are intimate with this reality, all of it. You see it, you feel it, you know it, you understand it, and it sees you too as something that's supportive of it, as something that is a blessing to it, something that it should pay attention to, because there's a beauty of free expression coming from you to it, with the attention of a mutual celebration, a mutual understanding, and a shared freedom that's infinite. When you're infinitely free, and so is someone else, and you create the most beautiful possible ways, and none of it ever comes into conflict with another part. It's the divine dance of grace. It's sublime. It's you, and it's mine. And it's why we're here, to move into free and full self-expression in a creative, compassionate, and celebratory union with life. It's a tall order, but aren't you able to realize that in your experience yourself? I think so. Just take a look. You too. Oh, smart ass. Got his first phone number today. Whew. There you go. The day the boy became a young man. So I think we've probably addressed that one pretty good. You got another question?
That one.
Yeah, me too.
It's like I don't want to do anything.
Anything about anything?
Yeah, unless like you call or there's work or there's something. I just like I know what has to be done. I want this, share this system with humanity.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah,
I got it. You ready?
yeah.
Okay, so Gene is a genius. He's a master healer. He knows how to deliver something unbelievable to his clients. And he's going, this can change the world. This can heal the world. This can create everyone feeling good about themselves, feeling a wonder within their experience of themselves, a freedom that they never thought they'd ever have, and a peace that they thought they'd never ever be. an opening into a joyful experience of yourself is what Gene can do for you. He can create that experience with you. He knows how to do it.
True.
True. We got two truths here. So, are you open to my critique?
See.
Okay, because everything I said was true, right?
Yep.
But why isn't it happening? Why do you have to force your effort into this reality in such a way that it does something it doesn't want to do, seemingly? Right? The fact that you know what you know and that you can do what you can do, the world should be beating its path to your door, and it's not. It's not. It's hard for me to call you because of the busyness that I get into, even though every time I have an experience with you, it's nearly transcendent. It's certainly you close your eyes and relax. Quit doing your calisthenics. Okay. Claudio's trying to distract me. His teenageness, yes. Can't sit and relax for a minute.
I did just get his first date.
See, because if I have to be here as myself, I guess I can do that. But I'm trying to do it in a manner where I can deliver what's needed and wanted. And what's needed and wanted is a solution to a question that why, when there's a transformational experience that can happen predictably.
It does happen.
And does happen predictably. Why is it limited to a few people? When there's a desire from the originator, from the creator, from the one who brought it into expression here, that's the master of that. Why doesn't everybody know who he is easily, freely, in a viral expansion? So now we've asked the question, haven't we? So what's it going to be? It's going to say, what we've said before, what I've said before. Everything I said was true, but there's something else that's also true. You don't think you're ready. You're, for some reason, unwilling to take on the truth of who you are, so that it's an irresistible experience, because it's a constant radiant emanation from you, instead of the technician that you are, and guiding and manipulating and moving and communicating and getting to that end. That was for you. That was for you to create the understanding within yourself. And it's supposed to be easier than that for the others. You paved the way with your own experimentation as to what works. But you have to open more than you have. You have to allow the rest of the personality that's from here and now to be influenced, to be changed, to be understood, an understanding of everything that you have ever been beyond this life. You have to open and receive your infinite potential. You have to open to such a level that a person looking at you, a person experiencing you in their space, feels within their experience of themselves that something special just happened, something magnificent, something beautiful, something loving. And they associate that with their experience of you. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't happen already. I'm just saying it doesn't happen enough. Often enough, and to a great enough degree. And so you're trying to communicate and share your brilliance with us before you've fully embodied it yourself. You have to go all the way. You have to be transformed completely before you can change the world. Otherwise, you can only change your few friends. So you're cursing us with every curse of yourself. Meaning, any limitation that you hold on to for yourself is a limitation that I have in my interaction with you. I can only deal from you at a level of consciousness that you're willing to be. I can't force you into more than what you are. But what I can do, and what you should do for yourself and for others, is you should notice where somebody is. Then you should speak to them from one quantum level above that. That's close enough that they can relate to, but where they have to make a really nice, beautiful shift for themselves to come and join you where you are. And they have to see you from there. And as they see you there and experience the fact that you're selfless, that you're true to yourself, and that you're true to others, then they'll so quickly go into a harmonic resonance with you that they'll experience a transformative experience without a word being said. So feel that in yourself. I'm going to open and focus on my opening so that I can experience whatever it is that you're capable of expressing on any level, at any space, time, dimension, reality, whatever it is. I'm going to be there waiting for you. So, what is it that you can bless me with? What understanding can you provide me with in my experience of you? How open are you willing for me to be? How free can I be with you? There. Okay. Thank you. Shut the door. Yeah. So you made a choice and a shift happened, right? Now you're more present here. You're more yourself, right? So I acknowledge that. I see that. I feel that. I understand that. Well done. Now open more. Allow a free flow of grace, universal truth, universal understanding, universal celebration of life and consciousness to flow to me unimpeded through you. Be the doorway, so to speak, between heaven and earth. Half of you there and half of you here. So that there's a fire hose of heaven coming here and hitting me right in the face. Irresistibly. Yeah. Just like that. You do it too. I have a couple of retarded geniuses here, maybe 3. 3 idiot saints. Saint savants. Doing the best we can. Except we're not. That's the problem.
We haven't even tried.
We're not even trying. We're not even opening. We're not even willing to be the truth. And yet we say we know the truth. We are the truth. We are the seers. We are that which feels it. We are that which understands it. And yet we don't. Really. Except for a moment or two, and then we shut down again. So, the bottom line, the answer is always, you're the idiot. You are the fucking idiot. That's why. Okay? And as a fucking idiot, you can't be the solution until you realize that you are. Which means until you really are the solution, until the solution is realized as you won't have your answer. And so you have to be willing to be changed by the truth that would set you free if you realized it as yourself, if it was made real as you. Does that make any sense? Okay. You have to realize the truth is yourself. That the truth is you. And then you have to allow that to transform the experience of you in this moment by moment by moment. You have to allow yourself a continuous opening, a continuous expansion, a continuous flow of grace moving through you without you directing it in any way. Just a willingness to feel it, to see it, to know it, to understand it as it moves through you without any restriction. You got a question, Junior?
No. Oh, yeah. You mentioned earlier calisthenics or something like that, a word like that. Yeah, when I was playing with my hands.
I mentioned what?
You mentioned a word, calisthenics or
exercising.
Oh, okay.
Distracting my attention onto the physical. I mean, if you want transcendent communication, then you can't demand that I be the me that I normally am and that you be the you that you normally am.
Yeah.
If we keep pretending to be our pretenses, which is exactly what you're doing, then that's where we're communicating at, right? You're not going to get any solutions from there. Nothing that's transformative, nothing that truly changes life for you.
Okay, I will play with my hands another time.
Please. But don't accept that as a criticism, consider the fact that it might be true and real, and that there's a reason that I'm saying it to you, so that you can relax about how deeply you've bought into your personality and your identity that's a construct here, how much you believe that that's you. Okay? You have to challenge that yourself. You have to look at yourself and say, I don't know what's real and what's true, truly. And you have to look at yourself critically, and you have to say, what am I? And then you have to dive into that experience until you know. What am I? And when you dive into an intimate experience of yourself, the first thing that comes up is everything you've never confronted. That's why it's a painful experience for most of us. Because the first thing we have to do is come to a realization of exactly who we've been here, what effect we've had on ourselves, and what effect we've had on other people. And until we accept what we've said and what we've done, what we haven't done, what we haven't said, where we've been and where we haven't been, and the reasons why, and the knowing that it was always our choice that led us to where we were and what our experiences are. Until we take complete responsibility for who and what we are. Regardless of what anyone else ever did to us, we were there participating as that opposition to that other point of view. We weren't more than what we were, and we could have been. We could have been something that would have inspired them to the point they couldn't have held on to who they were as a destructive influence on us. If you're your truth, another person can't help but be their truth. And truth does not fight truth, only lies fight each other. So as you accept responsibility for exactly who you are, and you experience yourself as you are, then you start to change. You start to transform. Because when you stop judging yourself, the lies dissolve. And the light, which is the truth, begins to shine within you. And the more that you open to an experience of truth within your experience of yourself, the more the lies that you held on to as truth or reality dissolve. So allow the lies that are the construct of the identity, of the personality, of the body, allow the lies to dissolve in the light of the eternal truth of you. And how that happens is you sit in your shit that is your life and that is your experience of you, willingly and consciously, and do nothing about it except be aware of you, your consciousness, your body, what you see, what you feel. You don't do anything about it. You don't do energy work on it. You don't do intention on it. You do attention, not intention. You give it your attention. And as you give it your attention, then what's been seen that needed to be seen is resolved point by point, and then is dissolved point by point. And you come here cleaner and clearer in every new moment. And then at some point, reality around you awakens and chooses better for itself. And when your influence here causes reality to choose better for itself, then you'll be ready to share the best of yourself, because you will know and live the truth that has set you free, and others will see their truth in you. That's not true because I said it. That's not true because I am it. I am what I am. And what I said will work if you try it on. I'll give you a money-back guarantee. The only problem is this is free. But it's valuable, except it's not. Because the truth of you will always come out when you're open to it. No one else is the cause. The answer is always, always, always you. More of you. More experience of yourself. The more you experience yourself, the more truth you experience. The more levels that you experience yourself on, the more true you become as an embodied consciousness. You got a question? So the short answer is, if you're ready, let it happen. It's as simple as that. If you're ready, put your attention on it and let it happen. And if you say no to it, just realize that that was only a no for that moment. Then ask yourself again. You may get asked 100 times in 100 seconds and get 100 no's, but when you ask that 101st time, or some other number, then it's going to be a maybe. Then you may go through 100 maybes until, a little bit then. And then it may be 100 of those until you go, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I can maintain my consciousness here now. And I'm going to make it real. So, it's your choice. You just have to keep choosing it. And each time you choose it, and each time you open, and each time you allow it to transform you, it will. And each time you shut down again, and that's okay. But as soon as you know you've been shut down, you open again. You go, oh, okay, I did it again. And you take responsibility for that. And you say, okay, now I'm paying attention again, and I'm open to experience my transformation, my freedom, my realization, my understanding, my ability to be universally whole and true within my experience of myself. If that can be true for one, then it's true for us all. When each one of us for ourselves continuously chooses and continually opens and continually allows yourself to be transformed by that answer and allows others to transform as well as they choose. But the more you choose well for yourself, the more others will choose well for themselves. So the answer is always you. You're the answer, and you're the problem. You solve the problem by knowing that you don't have the answer and opening until you do have the answer. You never stop opening until the answer is you. Because the truth of you is what transforms the lie of you. And the truth of you can only be known by a magnificent experience. And a magnificent experience can only be had by doing what is almost never done. That is opening to have a universal experience of truth for yourself. Meaning that there is nothing that you shy away from. There's nothing that you resist. There's nothing that you oppose. And you open to the universe, knowing you intimately, because you are there with your awareness, with your knowing, with your understanding, universally. And you allow that to be your experience of the individuated, the name that you are, the personality that you are. Give yourself the time, and you open to having that experience as yourself. And you'll notice that other people are also having similar experiences, and you'll get excited when you see that others are choosing well for themselves. And you'll support each other, because you can't help it. When you realize that another is going free infinitely, it's a beautiful thing to watch. It's a beautiful thing for your own free expression. So keep opening until you understand. What it is to open to it all, to truly be one with everything. Well, that's enough about that. Oh my God. Oh.
Very cool.
Anything else that we can chat about? I always seem to take it to the same place, don't I? Doesn't matter what the question is.
Yeah.
Well, let's see how long we've been going here. 59 minutes and 20 seconds. Okay, so I guess we just wrap things up, since my new deal is an hour.
What's an hour?
Instead of 2 or 3, because usually people have to say, shut the hell up, and an hour is already irritating. You're only supposed to do 10-minute videos on YouTube, right?
Exactly.
Is it 10? I thought it was 2.
10, you get better rankings when it's over 10. So 10 to 15 minutes is what everybody's doing now. But you know what? It takes me an hour to say what I'm going to say until I go, I guess I've said it enough different ways that, if you're going to get it, you're going to get it, because I said it pretty clearly.
Many ways.
in every way I could.
Yeah.
So, on that note,
Thank you.
yay.
Wait until we get to exactly 1 hour.
Well, it's an hour and 17 seconds now.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Quit swearing, man. They think I raise kids with no class. And it was you that made me swear during the deal, by the way.
What deal?
The recording.
Oh.
See how quickly I go back to not taking responsibility for myself and my life? That's what you have to watch for, idiots. As soon as you start blaming somebody else, that's your signal that you just fucked yourself again and went unconscious.
Yeah.
So, each time you're blaming somebody else, just realize that you've completely fallen in the muck again, and it's your responsibility to reawaken, not anybody else's. And the only reason people treat you shitty is you let your consciousness be shitty. So wake up and open and express yourself freely. Okay, I'm close. Damn it. God damn it.
Damn it. I said it again.
God doesn't mind when you say that. It's okay. Because he's not actually going to damn something. What kind of God would damn something? Not any good.
Creation.
Yeah, it's crazy. whatever gods there are, they're goddamn beautiful, you know. You know, heaven is if it exists, is a inclusive place, not an exclusive, which means that anyone that opens up to experiencing that for themselves is a member, you know. There's no dues, there's no prerequisites, there's only the willingness to open and receive that. And if you open and you receive, then that is you. And anyone of every religion, you know, probably the founder of every religion, you know, did that. That's why people liked him. You know, they took to some sort of opening to the extent where other people went, that's the way, that's the truth, that's the life that I'm patterning myself after, even though you can't. Because whatever somebody else did, you can't imitate that. It has to be your experience of yourself, just like it was their experience of themselves. It can't be an imitation of another. It has to be the authentic experience as your awakening, as your realization, as your truth, as your experience of yourself. And that only comes from your own willingness to open and receive that experience and to be transformed by it. And then I'll keep on talking again. I'm going to turn this off. Quit irritating everybody. Okay. There we go.